I stole my dad's liquor cabinet because he had really good booze.
Yeah, and he'd just kick you out of the house.
Yeah, I was 18. Just got out of jail.
For me, I was 20, and I developed a pretty bad cocaine habit, and my girlfriend broke up with me, and my parents were pissed off at me because of my cocaine habits. They didn't let me come back home. I was friends with a couple travelers that I had housed up, and they were in town, and they went, "Come on, let's go stick our thumbs out and hit the road." And I've been doing it on and off for 18 years almost now.
Well, I was working at Ball Aerospace in Broomfield, and I lost my job, lost my apartment. My husband went to jail again. But yeah, then I got stuck in being homeless.
I got home from Iraq in 2008, August 2008, and I was homeless then for a while because civilian life was a little bit too slow, and so I went and worked for a motorcycle club in West Virginia and started doing things that way. And then I got sober, and they diagnosed me with PTSD at the VA, so I started working on that. And I was sober from 2012 to 2017, and I was working, got married and shit. Now, then I started drinking last year around this time, which I'm sober right now, but I started drinking. Then I ended up in jail for a fist fight for about 8 months, and now I'm out. I've been out for about 2 weeks, so starting over.
It's about the same. He played more of a combat role. I played a logistical role. We worked on Bradley's armored passenger vehicles. They get hit by artillery shells or whatnot, get damaged. We'd patch them up, send them right back out. And anyway, I done that for motor pool and logistical officer, supply sergeant. And then I don't know what it was. I come back and drinking too much, I guess, and the wife, she didn't like it, so we separated, and that was 3 years ago.
Well, lost my house and my children due to my drinking and drug use because I couldn't pay the bills because I was too busy having fun. And it's been about 5-6 years. I've been on and off the street, stay with people when I can, but I had a really bad relationship, so I didn't really give a crap at the time. I just kind of would rather live in my car at the Walmart.
Well, about 25 years ago, I got out of the penitentiary, and I couldn't get a job because of my record. Of course, everybody knows that. And so I struggled, did a little odd jobs off the books, that, and then it just got so tough, I thought I might as well just, didn't give up. I tried for years to get another job, a decent job, but with a record like you get, like I got, it's really hard.
I can tell you the exact date, to be honest with you. It was October 11th of 2017. I was hit by RTD bus, and her and I both worked for a landscaping company called Patchett Landscaping. I was hit by an RTD bus, and I wasn't able to walk for 2 weeks, which I lost my job after that when we became homeless.
I came to Colorado 12 years ago. I was homeless, and it took me a couple of years. I got off the street. I sold weed, to be honest with you, in the park here before it was legal.
And when the cops come wake you up at 6 o'clock in the morning just because they can, it's wrong. Because you're already cold sleeping on the concrete. My God, can you let me sleep till I wake up?
Some people come out by choice. I don't. It's like, first of all, it's pretty dangerous. I've been beat up, been cut up, broke my arms out here, and it's pretty dangerous. So you gotta buck up and be bold, and because the rest of them are going to take advantage of you if you ain't.
Anyway, it is very difficult, especially when it gets cold. Trying to find out where you're going to sleep, and how's home. Well, the programs here. It has to be 32 degrees or below for a regular non-precipitation night, 38 or below for precipitation. That's still very cold. To try to find somewhere to lay, and then people are going to mess with you, or the cops are going to come and tell you have to leave. It sucks. It sucks. It makes you want to do drugs or it makes you want to drink.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Bums and stuff, it'll bring you down. We always have to look in the reflection of the glass on the windows to remind ourselves we don't look as homeless as we feel.
Kind of remind ourselves who we are. Right?
Yeah.
Just people are bad to judge people sometimes. And they're just sizing you up based on, how you look. They don't even know where you come from. They don't know your record. And they all of a sudden assume maybe you're a criminal, and it's like you don't even have a criminal record, probably less than what they've got.
Contemplating suicide when it gets really rough.
That's horrible, because I never, ever, ever in my life thought about doing something like that. But just to not have to worry about it.
It's kind of a reality sometimes when it gets that rough, you know what I mean? And it's freezing outside, and you can't call anybody. You can't go anywhere. You're kind of stuck, You don't want to go to jail, but that's an alternative. You think like, well, might as well go to jail because,
At least you got food to eat.
Yeah,
one place
you got a roof over your head,
That's why a lot of these people just let it go and continue to go back.
I don't understand. We haven't given up yet.
Not yet, no. And I won't give up. I can't, but sometimes you want to.
It's really hard.
And there's days that you just don't want to get up. It really gets you down on the inside of yourself, but you just gotta fight through it and make the best of every day.
I've had to fly a sign, which is very humiliating.
It's very humbling.
No, it's humiliating. This experience has been very humbling because I used to look at homeless people. This is the first time I've ever been homeless. I've raised my children on my own. I had my own home, everything, and I lost it. So it's been very humbling because now I know it can happen to anybody. And to fly aside and have somebody scream at you, get a job. If they would take a second to know that it's not that easy to get a job when you're homeless out here.
So many people that I met in the last 14 years are dead. They died on the streets.
People are just, you know, they look at homeless and think that they're a bunch of drug addicts and alcoholics.
Well, he didn't even have.
And that's not true, you know.
But getting a job is hard. I'm with him. I don't have no ID. I'm not from here. I don't have an address, so it's kind of hard to go to work.
But at least there are certain people that are willing to employ homeless people. There's a lot of people that aren't. But
unless you've experienced it. You know, and I have to tell most people, you come with me one day, follow me one day, and just basically what the homeless do here.
There was a cat a few years ago that died by Starbucks on Pearl Street. People just walked over him for hours, and nobody called the police, you know, or nothing. There was a cop here that referred to another guy that died of hypothermia as a bumsicle cop, you know. People are just, you know, they look at homeless and think that they're a bunch of drug addicts and alcoholics.
Well, he didn't even have.
And that's not true, you know.
My good friend Benji, Benjamin Harvey, he died last Christmas Eve. He froze to death. The shelter wouldn't let him in, and so he froze to death.
Would love people to know one thing for sure. Not all homeless people are bad.
When you see a person out on the street holding a sign, it's a homeless. Or it's a person that has paid rent and can't afford anything else. It's people, not very many people can go out on that corner and hold a sign. But when you need something, and that's the only way you can at that time, in this moment, then you hold a sign and please give a little bit. That's it.
It definitely happened anyway. Your mom, these guys here, you know. But if anything, if this video helps anybody to realize that don't take for granted what you have. You can go in your house and you can take your shoes off, or you can take a shower whenever you want to, or you can sit down and go to the bathroom and wipe your butt. You know what I'm saying? It's horrible not to be able to do that anymore. And so many people take that for granted. Or to be able to just lay and cover up in your bed, you know. I lay on the ground. You know what I mean? It can happen to anybody.
You can definitely see society as a fool when you're on the bottom.
I guess through my experience of being homeless and coming out of being homeless is it even taught me not to believe everything you read or see about a particular population. It doesn't have to be this population. It can be any population. It can be Hispanics, immigrants. It doesn't matter. It's a population. And we all have those preconceived ideas of what a population is. And the thing that I've learned is they're wrong. Those misconceptions are wrong 9 out of 10 times. And we should be more open to people that are different than us and people that are struggling, because we don't know why they're struggling.
But you could stay there for 6 years?
You know, they could have a PhD and just had a run of bad luck, you know. But think about where someone came from and maybe empathize with them a little bit more instead of just being judgmental right off the bat.
For one, the mind is different. We don't know who we were, who we are, trying to come home and recreate a life that we already lived, and that life ain't there. A lot of people, they get stuck on the Oxycontins and painkillers from the medical, from the VA, if they got blown up or something, and they get addicted to those. I think the biggest problem, though, is just people have PTSD and they don't know they do, and you know, get going out and get stuck on drinking. Like for me, I couldn't go anywhere without drinking because I was so nervous and anxious about the crowds and stuff.
There's a social aspect where you feel like you don't fit in no more.
Yeah, that too.
I don't feel like I almost feel like I'm a different species. Like I cannot relate to what normal people are doing and what's on their mind, or I feel very uncomfortable. I just feel like I don't belong, you know. So that's a lot of it there, because we don't show up for half the stuff we're supposed to show up for. It's just because
crowds
we can't, you just can't deal with that.
People,
feel like outsiders, something, right?
Even people that are in our same shoes on the street and stuff, their goals are way different. They can sit out here and be broke for 5 years and not do anything, and it's like, you know, me and him, we've lived in society being normal before and stuff, and so we have goals of getting out of this crap.
Getting back to, you know.
And it happens, it happens, and then slide off the wagon or get depression, something. I don't know.
Homelessness is closely related to abusive relationships. Of the more than 200,000 homeless women, over 90% were or are victims of physical or sexual abuse. Women and women with families make up the fastest growing group of the homeless population in the USA, and we have the largest number of homeless women and children of all industrialized nations. Homeless families comprise 34% of the total homeless population. 84% are female-headed, fleeing abusive households. In fact, by age 12, 83% of homeless children had been exposed to at least one serious violent event. Shockingly, a quarter of the homeless population is under 18 years old. That's 150,000 children. Many of these children are fleeing dangerous situations at home, others being kicked out of the house. Upwards of 2 million kids in America will face a period of homelessness each year. 20,000 are forced into prostitution. 80,000 spend at least a day each month without food. 40% of these kids are LGBTQ. A community of young people that is 120% more likely to experience homelessness. The web of homelessness is vast and deeply interconnected. Poverty is behind most cases, and with 40 million Americans living below the poverty line, there's no wonder we experience such a homelessness epidemic. It's a systemic issue, with the poverty line for a family of 4 being $25,100 a year. a worker would need to earn $12 an hour to reach that level. That number is almost $5 higher than the federal minimum wage. A renter needs to earn $21 an hour to support a 2-bedroom home. The result of this inequality is that over 11 million households now spend more than 50% of their income on housing alone. It is considered healthy to spend 30%. Only 25% of the people eligible for federal housing assistance actually receive help due to a lack of funding. With so many people living on the brink, paycheck to paycheck, in many cases, all it takes is an injury or illness, an increase in rent, a domestic issue, or a stroke of plain bad luck to thrust them over the edge.
I think it sucks. I think nobody should be homeless. Nobody should be homeless here. This is the richest country in the world. In the world. In the whole world. Richest country. And I don't know the figure, but I know there's mighty lot of homeless in America. And I think it sucks.
Yeah, the fact that there's more abandoned houses than homeless people in America is ridiculous. And I feel like something needs to be done about that. But I'm not sure exactly what's going to go down, how that can go down. Because we're looked down upon so much for being homeless.
As RJ alluded to, there are far more empty houses than homeless people. Estimates show that over 18 million houses are lying empty. What makes this so ironic is that it is housing that is the number one concern for the homeless population. Housing. If this does not reach you on an empathetic level, perhaps it will on an economic one. What studies are showing, time and time again, is that it is cheaper to supply housing for the homeless than pay the subsequent costs of keeping them outdoors. 3 times cheaper. When we factor in the costs of time in jail, shelters, court fees, and hospital bills, we can see just how much more efficient and compassionate it would be to supply sufficient housing for the up to 3.5 million Americans without it. To paint an accurate picture of homelessness in Boulder and in America, we have to also address the glimmers of light. For one, there is community here in Boulder. Stories of people taking care of each other.
We take care of each other. We work as a team. We're a crew. And that makes it a lot easier on us.
And it's a lot like you just got to watch out for each other. Because if you don't, ain't nobody else going to watch out for you. You know?
I would say a fam, because a community, you don't know everybody in the community. I do know the homeless fam.
People ask me how I smile so much when I'm homeless. I was like, because I got good friends and we have fun.
There are programs here. Shelters, services, resources, kind strangers. Chris's story in particular highlights what is possible. After being homeless for 3 years, he found his way to a stable living situation. He now works with 5 of Boulder's most significant organizations, feeding, sheltering, and aiding the homeless population here.
I started feeding people, and then I quit doing that. I quit growing, and then I started running BOHO. I ran that organization for 2 years. It was the Emergency Overnight Center. It was started by the homeless for the homeless back then. Now it's no longer here. They've basically gotten rid of what we knew as the warming centers. I used to work with Carriage House, who's also Rich House now. And I worked with Attention Homes, who works with at-risk youth on the street. I started this organization because the homeless used to call it your fuck Friday and your screwed Saturday because there was no meals those days. And we just started feeding people. and I've been doing it ever since. Now I'm part of Boulder Food Rescue too, so all the food that you see here came from Sprouts, and then I have some kids from CU who donated the soup and the sushi, and they donate every week. And we come out here and we hang out with people and we pass out socks and hats and coats, sleeping bags, whatever they need, hygiene products. That's basically what we do. And when I started working with the people that live on the street, I started trying to provide services that I thought would have helped me when I was on the street, because that's the services that your organizations don't come out here and do, because they're not interested in coming out here. They want you to come to them, but they neglect a lot of people that don't go to those places because they don't trust them. They don't believe in the system. They don't believe in institutional services because they've been let down by those folks a lot. So what I try to do is provide services that help me in times when I was at my lowest, and then try to help people build up from there. I'm just an example of what someone can achieve if they just have a little help from time to time.
Right.
The solution is to find the people that truly want
to make it different. Yeah.
And that truly want to get a job and have a home, because there's a lot of people out here that are okay
career homeless. They're okay being homeless.
So that's one of the solutions, is to truly find the people that really want to bust their ass and get out, because a lot of people don't. And
the ones that don't, and they like the career, being a career homeless, set them for a path also. If that's what they like, give them the resources that they can eat lunch every day or whatever, or if they can shower every now and then or whatever they want. Let them live that way. But the ones that are really trying, give them just a little bit more of a push. You know, give a hand. You know what I mean? And that's all we need. To be honest with you, 2 weeks, stability over our head, and I guarantee you we'll both be employed and on our way back.
Yep.
That's all we ask for. That's it.
Well, they found me out only yesterday, and I tried my best just to get away. It's hard to see the sunshine, living in the shadow and digging my own grave. I see headlights coming down the road, coming this way. Please don't mind me, I'm just looking for some clothes to wear. And if I can get a bite, I may be sleeping on your porch tonight. You're in no danger, I'm just too tired to fight. But if you shine your light in my face one more time, if you shine your light in my face, don't say you're sorry. I've just been lying in my shame and disgrace and my broken body.
To not have a house is not something that defines a person. Everyone seeks a home.
What is home to me? Home to me is two different places. One place is a foundation in a house where you got your family and everything going on there. And then another, I can have home out here. You get with the right people that aren't mentally twacked out and stuff, and if it's cold and you're taking care of each other and stuff, that can be home too, you know. I think home's where you feel safe, you know, kind of. It doesn't have to be a house. It can just be, for me, it's just where I feel safe and I feel like people got my back, you know. don't need a roof to be a house.
Real home for me is with Jesus. But you got to be dead for that one, and I'm not really ready for that one.
Yeah,
well, I mean, I guess we got to be, but
we're both on the Jesus path too.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be out here, really. I mean,
I feel like the day that you know that happens, then I'll be at home.
Just passing through right now.
I'm just passing through on earth, you know. Just go back home to Jesus, and it'll all be all right then.
Yeah.
I'll belong then. I won't feel like I'm, you know, can't fit in.
For sure.
What is home to me is where I lay my head at night, and where this rest is where I'm sleeping. That's my home. And usually it's by some railroad tracks. I'm not gonna lie. I hop freight trains all across America.
I actually call this right here my house, so I guess wherever, like you said, wherever I am is home. I usually sleep by a riverbed or a highway on-ramp or by a construction site. But yeah, this is home. All of this. Sitting in my living room right now.
Home is also where I end up at the end of the day and where my friends are. That's where home is.
Home to me is where I hang that hat. It could be right here on this spot. It could be over there on the creek. It could be wherever I find someplace secure enough by myself to lay down and go to sleep and not have to worry about getting mugged in the middle of the night and all that. No.
People that love me, it's not material things. It's definitely not that. It's where people that love me for who I am, what I represent, and being the woman I am. They love me for that. Well, some don't, but you'll have that.
It honestly, it sounds cliche, but it is where your heart is. It truly is.
This is it.
Because for so many different people, home is, you know, a nice, beautiful house, and I don't even care about that anymore. I would be okay living in a shed at this point, you know, just to have something over my head. But as long as he's by my side, and I can still talk, and I can still walk, and I can see my children, and when I'm able to,
that's where it is.
That is where it is. I mean, it is a home where, well, home is where the heart is, but it's also difficult to not have a home. So that's a hard question to answer, honestly, because right now I want a home so bad. You know what I mean? But I don't want to get. I definitely know I won't take it for granted again, not like I did before.
For me, home is right here. I protect and I love my home. This is the other part of my beating heart. I will do anything, whatever it takes, to own a home, a physical home. But where, if you ask me where where my home is, it's right here.
Home to me is, I hate to be cliche, but where you lay your head. It really is, because I've lived in the National Forest and felt at home. And I've lived inside places and not felt at home. So home to me is where you feel most comfortable, sleeping, living, enduring, thriving. I mean, it just depends, but it's wherever you find your heart is. That doesn't look like the 2.5 kids with the picket fence and the dog and a kid around here, you know, in all these neighborhoods. Some people, that's just not for them. And they prefer to be in nature. Nature's their home. You know, they feel like they're more included when they're isolated. It's just still part of that environment, you know. And yeah, I think
this very moment. We're all lost in the abyss sometimes, you know, and the open hand in support of a stranger. Well, maybe that home only lasted for a moment, you know, or for a few miles, or like this here, you know, where that's it.